with your host, Pablo Gunner, and I'm here to talk nerdy to you about fitness and nerdy stuff and other stuff. So this one's going to be different, and things are going to be different from here on out as well, because I don't know if I'm going to do these as video anymore, even though I feel like physical stuff is very, visual. I don't know if I'm going to do this, because they just don't get that many views on the YouTube as videos. But on the website, there's a lot of views, and I think that's because that's where all the information is. If you go to our website at TNTMTheShow, that's where I post all of my information of all my workouts that I did for the month. And so that's another reason that's why I don't really go into my workouts too deep in this video, is because for one, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to, and I don't want me just listing all my workouts, and that's all I do. So that being the case, that being said, all that stuff is on the website. So, if that's what people want, and that's what people see, and that's what people get from this, then I don't need to do this visually. I don't need to waste the time to record this, but at least it'll be out there in audio, so people can hear it as well as not just read it. So yeah, I'm gonna start doing this as a podcast, which is new and different. So I'm going to turn this into a podcast as well. And so, yeah, it's also going to be different because like I said, I'm not going to go too much in my workouts. I will say this, that for my workouts, I was incorporating a lot of the nerdy fitness workouts. Like the legs workout, which I'm calling Legendary Legs now, as Guardian Arms. The thing is I don't just do the nerdy fitness workouts, which are workouts that are essentially just workouts that I've taken that I've learned over the years, mostly from P90X and Insanity, but not exactly. And then I've changed them a little bit so that, they're more to my liking, because, people have certain issues. Like, I have neck issues, some people have knee issues. And so it's just one of those things where you just do things, what works for you, what you like, what's comfortable, and that's what I've done with these workouts. And so, like I said, that's going to be on the website, those workouts in detail of what they are and stuff like that. And so that's what's going on. I was making great progress, and then this is another thing that I have to say is this is actually what I did in August. So yeah, I'm behind. I've been slacking. Life has been happening, mostly work. A lot of work going on. I was sick for a while, so that was part of it too. Just things going on and just setting priorities in motion. This doesn't pay the bills. My job sure as hell does, and so, and also got to take care of the wife because she takes care of me, So, which goes into my other thing that's going to make this different, which is it's time to have the sex talk, kids, okay? And what that means is the benefits of sex, okay? Now, I bring this up because during August, we went to Pagosa Springs, and it was for a few days, and so I did not work out any of those days except for doing yoga and, of course, the sex. And so and this is also reflects back on my past, is when the wife and I were banging the most, not just during Pagosa, but early in our marriage, I had the most amazing abs. They were just so amazing, like, they're the kind of abs that you wanted to oil up every day because they just looked so fantastic. But you didn't need to because they were so great. And that's because I was constantly putting in that work, it's really great abs workout for guys. I don't know about the ladies because I'm not a lady, but I'm assuming same thing. If you're doing the work, it's going to be a good workout for you, and vice versa. So it's good to take turns and try different things. Work out, different position is a different workout for different, different. I would imagine for the ladies being on top, that's more of a workout than the dudes. Unless you're a dude and you're on the bottom and you like to give a little thrusts, you know what I mean? That's still a decent workout. I'm telling you from experience, because I know I've been like, hey, I like to put in that work, And so I usually do the work, and that's obviously why, like, for the longest time, even if I don't work out, I usually have pretty solid abs. Those lower abs, that V-line looks amazing afterwards. So, it was great doing yoga, but that was the best workout. Now, I'm going to go further into that, which is, here's just 10 tips, 10 things about sex that benefit your life. Now, this is, I'm not even gonna lie, this is straight up from WebMD that I'm reading this, but this is kind of like general knowledge stuff too. But I'm just saying, I'm throwing this stuff out there. So I didn't really know this, but it helps your immune system. You don't get sick as much. So yeah, it boosts your immunity. So that's freaking cool. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I don't know how that really helps your health, but whatever. Like, it helps blood flow and stuff like that. For females, it helps bladder control. I don't know about guys. It lowers blood pressure, so that's always a great thing as well. Specifically says that doesn't go for that doesn't go for masturbation, just sex. And it's a great exercise. I already said that, but here's the thing, here's the facts. That you use about 5 calories per minute. Now, like I said, if you're putting in the work hardcore like I do, I'm sure that's higher. Now, if you think about that though, 5 calories per minute, and I don't know how much like you get from cardio, but I will say this is that when you do cardio for 30 minutes, like that's all you need really per day for cardio is 30 minutes. So if you can go for 30 minutes and you're putting in the work, well then you're amazing for one, and two, that's you're done with your cardio for the day. And then lowers your heart attack risk, and then helps with osteoporosis and stuff like that, heart disease. It lessens pain. If you're in pain, it's a great way to distract from that pain. Helps with your prostate. You're less likely to get prostate cancer. Now, it says men who ejaculated frequently, at least 21 times a month, were less likely to get prostate cancer. To be honest, I don't think most guys are going to get that much sex 21 times a month unless you're like a newlywed or you're like in that perfect time in your relationship where you're just banging constantly. You're learning each other's bodies and stuff like that. Maybe you'll get 21 times in a month. So you'll probably have to rub it out a few times to get to that 21, which is fine. It also improves sleep. Sex improves sleep because it produces a hormone called prolactin. Obviously they make fun of guys for that, but it goes for both. And it helps with stress and anxiety. So there's lots of perks to it, not just, a good workout and stuff like that, making the V-line look great, which is always a plus. It's great because it works for both partners. It helps your health. You can tell your partner that, hey, look, it helps health-wise. It helps with all these things, Hey, it has to be true. It's on WebMD. That's pretty much it for that. But I will say for food, I had Rudy's turkey, brisket, cream corn, and peach cobbler. Oh my God, that turkey is amazing. I love it. I think about it. I dream about it sometimes. And that peach cobbler. I just get a little container of it like this big, but oh my God, it's heaven. It's so good. I don't know if they have other cobbler. I would love some raspberry cobbler or blackberry cobbler. That sounds good too. I also had lasagna. The wife made some lasagna, Noosa yogurt, organic cheese stick, organic pita chips, Baby Bell cheese, peaches, snack pack. And when I say snack pack, I don't mean the snack pack from like Billy Madison, but I mean like there's these things called the Sorrentos or Sorrentinos, I think, or something. And half is like nuts and dried fruit, like some kind of craisins or something. And then the other side is cheese. So, and then spaghetti and chicken meatballs. That was pretty good, surprisingly. Then I had egg, cheese, and chicken sausage burritos. Then chicken burgers. Those were also fantastic. Broccoli, wonderful. Cod, delicious. Organic brown rice. Chicken ravioli. That was also good. And then the wife and I went to the 1933 brewery in Rio Rancho off of Southern. It used to be the Fat Squirrel. And I will say the food was pretty good. It seemed like a pretty classy joint, except the service was kind of crappy, the waitress. So, and that's probably why we haven't gone back, because the food was actually really good. For musica, I listened to I downloaded Luke Bryan's album on Apple Music, What Makes You Country. And at first I thought the album was more about like how country I am and kind of shaming other people, and it's the exact opposite. And that's like how one of the songs is about too. It's just like, hey, be proud of any little thing that makes you country. Don't be you know, kind of like don't let people shame you, even if you're like one of those fake cowboys that just goes to the Dirty Bourbon, you know, to dance with pretty girls, and you wear the whole outfit even though you don't live the lifestyle. That's okay. Which goes into it. Which makes me. I'll go into a random tangent, which is what makes me country. You know what makes me country? Not that just that I listen to country music, because that's more recent. I've never really cared for old school country because it's all like, it's kind of depressing, but I like the new stuff because it's more upbeat. And anyways, but my grandpa, he had a ranch, and so I was always going with him, and he had a lot of sheep, so we used to round up sheep, and they used to shear the sheep, and they had like big parties. Sort of, it was kind of like a family gathering, big party thing, you know, when it was shearing time and stuff, and they would cut off the tails of the sheep. You would actually eat the meat off the bone of the tail of the sheep. One time my mom shot a rattlesnake and we ate that. It was this kind of tough, slimy meat, but not bad and stuff. And of course we have lamb, slaughter a lamb and stuff. My grandma actually, my grandma Viola, she had cows. So it was a similar thing that when there was branding. I mean, she would call her brothers because she had all kinds of brothers, brand the cows and stuff like that. I mean, I would always round up the sheep with my grandpa and then, you know, help in any way that I could. I used to help my grandma, you know, with the hay and whatever, you know, whatever and stuff, digging ditches too, cleaning ditches out. We used to do all that stuff. I know that was more in my youth. Those are the things that what make me country. I also downloaded Nas, Illmatic. Now like growing up, I didn't listen to a lot of East Coast because I was a West Coast guy, you know, and like if you know, there was some rivalry there, and so you didn't stray too much. So I never really got into Nas, but oh my God, it's a phenomenal album. It's obviously clearly like one of the greatest rap albums of all time. It's phenomenal. I also downloaded the Rolling Stones Beggar's Banquet, which was pretty interesting because it kind of sounds like a mix of it kind of sounds a little like The Who, kind of sounds like a little like Beatles, and kind of sounds a little like Led Zeppelin. I would say it's more like a combination of Led Zeppelin and Beatles, like mashed into one, but like early stuff, but not as good. Like there's solid songs, and I was like, okay, this, you know, it's not bad. So anyways, for shows and movies, I watched Hardcore Henry. I don't know, someone said something about Hardcore Henry at some point, so I put it on. It's weird because it's kind of like a first-person shooter, and it's really interesting. It's a very unique filming way to film. I liked it just because of the things that it did different that I feel like nobody else has done before. Now, I know other people have done the cam thing, but like it played like a video game. It was really interesting. Even the story seemed like a video game shooter video game story. Pacific Rim Uprising. So I watched a lot of movies with the wife while we were in Pagosa. That's what we always do. We just watch a lot, catch up on movies, and bang a lot. And eat, of course, you gotta refuel. So anyways, we watched Pacific Rim Uprising. It was pretty solid. I was kind of sad that Charlie Day ended up being the way that he was in the movie, but it ended up being surprisingly good, and I liked it. It was, you know, it was pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing another one. We also watched Annihilation, which is creepy as hell, really interesting at the same time, total mind F. I loved it. It was great. It really scared the wife. It really creeped the wife. She was like, oh my God, I'm so creeped out now. We also watched the animated Gotham by Gaslight, which was pretty solid, and I really liked how that one was. It would switch. I haven't read the book, so I can't like judge it against the book or anything. I'll probably buy the book sometime soon, so I can review it separately. And so yeah, but that turned out to be pretty solid. I liked the art style. The voicing was pretty solid, and the story was different. It wasn't what I expected. Then we also watched Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. I love her. She's hilarious. I think she's really attractive because she's funny, but I think she's also physically attractive. But anyways, so that was really funny, and it was surprisingly good. It was better than I thought it was, and it had a really good story behind it. It was a little awkward too at times, but great. Then we also watched the animated Death of Superman, like the newer one. That was phenomenal. Like, I teared up, and it was really intense, and it was really awesome, and it was really fantastic. I really enjoyed it. What they're doing with the animated DC universe is what they should be doing with the live-action universe. If they put the people in charge that are making these movies in charge of the live-action movies, it would be gold. Same thing, like, even if they did the casting, they just need to make them in charge, because then it would be absolutely phenomenal. We also saw Jumanji. Hilarious. Jack Black kills it. He is just the best, but everyone does a solid job. I think that except for like, okay, Kevin Hart just plays himself. He is funny, but he just plays himself. Even The Rock, I feel like, did a pretty solid job of playing a nerd in a buff guy's body. Then I watched Deadpool 2. I've been watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which has been okay. It's one of those where like you watch it and you're like, you get kind of bored with it, and then you come back to it. Also watched Hostiles. It's a Western. I think it was a Western that was on Netflix, I think. I've been watching a lot of DCCW stuff, trying to go episode by episode to get caught up, because yes, they've already started the new seasons. I'm still behind. I'm not caught up. I've also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What's the last season? Whatever the last season is, I'm almost done with it, but not quite. But it was just droning on for like that last arc was just going on forever and ever, where they're dealing with the Kree in the future space. Now, video games. I finally beat Mass Effect on Insanity. Oh my god, I had to replace the game. I went out and replaced the game. Well, I bought it, and I was like, tried this other disc. It wouldn't work. It still kept freezing, and finally it worked. And then I was like, done. And then I was like, I'm returning this. But I still have a copy, so yeah. But I'm like, I 100%ed it with the trophies, and so I feel great. I also beat Gears of War 4, and that was a phenomenal game. I honestly want to play it again, and I'm going to invite my dad to play it with me, especially because, like, you partner up with your dad in the game, so to me it just kind of like made sense to go like, I should play this with my dad, it'd be great. And then Uncharted, I've been playing Uncharted 4. I'm still just like, I feel like it's dragging, and I'm really bored with it. And then I've also been playing a little on Justice here and there. Now, as far as comics, Infinity Wars was freaking killing it with some awesome mind Fs. Then we had TMNT Universe ended, which is unfortunate, but it ended on a great note, phenomenal note. And then Sideways has been really solid. Detective Comics has been really great because they've been putting in, what's his name, Black Lightning, and he's training all the young people on the team, essentially, of like the Bat team. It's really cool. So since he's a teacher, it makes sense. It's really neat. And then you have Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows with Sinister, and that arc is freaking great. Extermination is another mind F with the X-Men of what's going on with them. They're killing people off left and right. It's insane. And then Batgirl has been really, really good. Whoever's the new person is writing right now is really great, and just creative team altogether is really, really good. And stuff, just a lot of good stuff and emotional stuff, and it really gets me invested. Then we have Mr. and Mrs. X, which is Rogue and Gambit are now married, and that's been hilarious and awesome and really crazy. And then Action Comics with Bendis doing Superman has been superb. So that is it. I want to know, any little thing, what makes you country? To me, what makes you country is not just like things that, you know, a country girl or country boy does. To me, it's also like the idea of being an American. I think all Americans deep down, and that's how a lot of other countries see us, is a bunch of cowboys, because we love our guns, we love shooting a little too much. Yeah, so I just want to know, any little thing that makes you country, I want to know what it is, even though you probably won't, because literally I don't think anyone has ever replied to me once about any of these questions. But thanks anyways. You know, I'll talk nerdy to you, talk nerdy to me. Stay fit, stay nerdy, stay eating healthy, and love and peace.